All right, cool guys. Welcome in. This is our bi-weekly role play session. If you've never been here before, we do this every couple of weeks on a Wednesday,
Okay, okay, I'll
and
call you back.
I want to welcome you guys in. If you come in, I need to go in and change my Zoom settings. I want you guys to be able to unmute yourself, but everybody does. Everybody here, you do come in unmuted, and that's really a Zoom setting on my end. But if you can hear my voice, just double check and make sure that you are muted. I try to go through and mute everyone as they come in, but I miss some folks. We're here to role play and practice our conversation technique. Generally speaking, most people on this call want to role play their initial outbound cold prospecting call to a PR or an air. However, we've got plenty of other calls that we can practice as well. You can practice an attorney prospecting call, a vendor call. Those are generally pretty easy. But still, you could practice that. If you want to practice a warm call or a follow-up call off of what an ISA might have done, you can ask to practice those techniques as well. So if you want to practice any kind of skill or technique in prospecting, as long as it's going to be probate-esque or probate-ish related, then I want to hear from you guys. Um, so if you're here, hopefully you're prepared to role play. I know not everyone is going to, and some people are kind of like, hey, let me sit in the background and learn a little bit. I will tell you guys that if you don't put yourself out, if you don't put yourself out there on role play, it's going to be difficult to put yourself out there on a real prospecting call. I also am going to fully admit that really do understand that role play is sometimes more intimidating than a real call, but it's the best place to practice. There's nothing worse than practicing what you're going to say and how you're going to respond than when you're on a live call with a prospect and they throw something at you that you weren't quite ready for. So tell us what you're looking for and we'll give you the responses so that you can work on those things. So I would like everyone to kind of get yourself prepared to do a little bit of role play today. We're gonna basically, when you volunteer to role play, or if I pick on you to role play, then one person is going to be a prospect and one person is going to be the agent slash investor, whatever business you provide. Welcome, Courtney Rollins. Courtney is going to, I assume, co-host today. Courtney, you prepared to kind of co-host with us for the next hour or so?
Hey, let's rock and roll. How's it going, Bruce? How's it going, everyone? Yes, it's awesome. Talk to
Good,
you.
good. All right. Um, do I have any questions before we get kicked off? Any questions? Raise your hand. I'd actually like to say raise your hand if you have any questions about role play. I want you to raise your hand also if you want to role play. So I'm looking for people to role play. Um, Otherwise, this call is going to be really short. So Anda, how are you?
I'm good, Ruth. Thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good. You want to role play or do you have questions?
Just a question.
Okay. All right.
I was wondering, do you leave voicemails when you get a voicemail?
Yeah. I do after a certain amount of calls. So here's my prospecting approach. I reach out to fewer people per day, but I reach out multiple times. So rather than, and this is personally, um, Courtney's going to do things a little different. Courtney, you reach out to more people per day. So me, I'm usually going to cut the number of people that I'm going to reach out to that day by a third, but I'm going to call everyone three times. And generally on the very last call, I'm going to leave a voicemail. So you've proven to me that you're not going to answer the phone, at least for that day. I'm typically leaving a pretty generic voicemail. It's not going to be, hey, this is about the estate. These are the services I offer. I'm not going into that, especially if it's the first day that I've really tried you. It's normally going to be, hey, I don't know if I have the right person. I'm looking for an Anda. My name's Bruce Hill. If you get a moment, would you give me a call? Here's my number. Generic. Want to create some curiosity. Uh, in the future calls, future voicemails, I'm going to start adding layers of complexity, layers of information into the voicemails that I leave. If they don't call back after that first day, then I go, well, that didn't work. Let's make an adjustment on the next voicemail that I leave. And normally my voicemails that I leave are after 2 or 3 attempts that day. All right, cool. Matt, what's
Yeah,
happening?
hey Bruce, on that voicemail, when you just mentioned your name, you don't mention that you're from Raleigh, Durham, or anything like that, just your name.
Yep, just my name.
Got it.
Yep, yep, just my name. Um, Matt, are you wanting to role play or did
Sure.
you?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
all right, good. I saw
Why
your
not?
hand go down and I was like,
Oh
no,
no,
don't go away that easy.
no, yeah, no,
Who do you want to role play with? Me or Courtney?
it doesn't matter.
Courtney, let me
Yeah,
get
let's
you.
jump in. Let's rock and roll. Oh,
I've had
awesome.
a pretty raw throat for about a week, so I'm gonna stay as quiet as I possibly can be today, and that's pretty tough for me.
Don't feel bad, bro.
All
All
right, go.
right, man. I'll be the PR.
Okay, all right, sounds great. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Hey, my name is Matt, and I'm calling from Myrtle Beach. And I appreciate you taking my call. I promise I'll be very efficient with your time. I'm uh, in need of a little bit of help. I have some information here that notes that maybe your family has inherited some property here in Horry County. Are you involved with that? Are you the personal representative for an estate related to a piece of property here in the area?
Um, yeah. I'm sorry. Who's this?
Yeah, my name is Matt. I'm down here in Myrtle Beach.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you involved? I've got some information here that notes a property uh, that maybe your family or you may be involved with, and I was just curious if I was making the right connection or not.
Yeah. That was my dad's house, but that's yeah. Why? What's up?
Okay, well, hey, I appreciate you taking my call. I know it's coming out of left field. I help families and out of town PRs with property here that they may need assistance with, and just wanted to reach out and introduce myself. Number one, just curious, uh, where are you and your family at with that particular piece of property? Are you looking to retain it, hold on to it, or maybe no decisions have been made at this point?
Oh, I mean, we haven't really decided yet. We were supposed to get together in a couple of weeks, to talk about what the next steps would be, actually, man. But yeah, I'm really not sure, man. It's kind of, it's really up to my. I mean, it's up to me because I'm the executive, but I have a sister who's thinking about keeping it, but she lives out of state. I'm
Sure,
not sure, man.
sure. No, I understand. I gotcha. And hey, just to make sure, I've got some information. Am I speaking with Courtney? Is that correct?
Yeah, and how'd you get my information?
Well, it's public record. I've got a research team that collates information, and uh, we're able to get it through the Horry County courthouse. So, but again, we help families that may need help, with any potential possible services as it pertains to a property. It sounds like right now you got pretty much everything pretty well covered, correct?
As far as I mean, yeah, we got an attorney handling everything, so I mean, I guess that's also what we got to wait on to see when we get the green lights and know what we're going to be able to do. So,
Okay.
but yeah, things are going pretty good now, man.
Okay. Well, good, good, good. Any needs or anything that I possibly could assist you with at this point, or again, you're all pretty well squared away?
Um, I'm pretty good to go. Why don't you send me, your information? I'll save it and
Yeah.
just shoot you a call if anything comes up.
I was getting ready to make that suggestion. If it'd be all
Mhm.
right, if I wasn't out of bounds, I was just gonna shoot you an email with my contact information. You could, at least have it there.
Okay.
Would,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, what's your best email address?
Courtney@gmail.com.
Fantastic. Yeah, you just be on the lookout for that later today, and certainly, hold on to that. And if it's okay, I'll circle back around with you in a couple weeks.
Sure. Sounds good. What's your name again?
My name's Matt Harris.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Courtney, for your time. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Cool. Cool, man. All right. All right. All right. How'd that feel?
It was good. It was, yeah, yeah. Don't be afraid. I'm coachable, so don't be afraid to
I got you. Got
be
you.
hard with the feedback, Bruce or Courtney or anybody.
Courtney, go for it.
Oh, well, I was trying to take notes as we go. I really do like how you're able in conversation to confirm a lot of important information as far as if I'm the person who's to talk to. Um, I did like that you came back with a question so that I could get talking. I think there was a lot of more of you talking though than me or my character or who I was supposed to be. So I think maybe getting responding to the questions, particularly like when I asked about how'd you get my number? I think it could be a little bit more in and out. We're at the estate office each week, and we're just helping families through the process. Some people sometimes not what you say, but how you say it. Sometimes public record could be a trigger for some folks. Sometimes I think it could be it's just really how you say it. But the most important thing I think is just respond to the question matter of factly, without BS, but quick matter of factly, and then getting back control by usually asking a pretty open-ended question that can steer them into the
Yep,
direction you want to go.
that's
But
good.
yeah, yeah. Though, what else you thinking, Bruce, or folks, or everyone? I had some other notes, but I can't read my writing, Matt. Sorry about
Well, fortunately, I can read mine.
that.
So, yeah, I thought that was a really good call. For those that don't know, Matt took kind of a confused, I don't know if I have the right person. I'm not sure if this is relevant approach, and my screens just went blank. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Um,
you. We still hear you. No, we can't hear you. All right. Well, are you in? Yep, we can hear you now.
at least once a day. So I think it's very important that you guys know that Matt was prospecting an out of town PR. So I was a little bit thrown off by down here in Myrtle Beach. It's kind of like if I live in Raleigh, if you were to call me and say, "Hey, this is Matt in Raleigh," I'd be like, "And?" I mean, but then I realized you were calling an out of town PR. So I'm pointing that out strictly because there are some folks on here that are going to be calling local leads as well. And I would not do that for a local lead.
Right,
I
right.
just don't want you guys copying what Matt did if you're calling a local lead, which he was not. Um, so there comes a point in your kind of confused, I don't know if I have the right person opening, where you need to drop the act. All right. You got the right person, you identify, you stayed in that sort of confused. I don't know if this is relevant a little too long. I do
Okay.
that in the beginning of the call. And then once I know that I've got the right person, I'm going to shift into kind of the professional. This is what I'm calling for. All right. You just stayed in that vein a little too long. You eventually got out of it, but it was just a little longer than I like to stay in that vein. Um, you went back to the boundaries multiple times. So what I mean by that is you kind of got, I don't need anything, my attorney's handling it. And you sort of kept going back. I think maybe 3 times. Is there anything that I could do for you? And you didn't ask it the same way 3 times, but I kind of heard a general, can I take care of anything for you 3 separate times? And the first time, nope, we're good. Yeah, we got an attorney handling it the second time. Third time, yeah, like I said, we're good. They're putting up a pretty strong boundary that they really um, don't need anything. All right. So once I get that boundary that I don't need anything, I'm quickly using that to be the first to propose that I send information and resources. So I want to be the first to propose the resources and information. If they propose it, great. But I don't really want to stick around and wait for them to have to propose that.
It's good. Yeah.
All right. I would not ask if I could circle back or follow up. That's just me. Courtney might do something totally different. I don't like to ask people if I can follow up with them, if I can call back, if I can circle back. The worst case scenario is they say, nope, don't call me. All right. Best case scenario, they say, yeah. In the middle, you have now put on their radar that you're going to chase them, and they might block you or they might program you as don't answer. I have dozens of people in my phone with their names, and I don't want them to know that they're blocked, but they annoy me. And I don't answer their phone. When it comes up, I may not really have a relationship with them, but I'm like, this person's just chasing a deal and I don't want to be rude. So let me say, hey, this is John, the financial advisor. Don't answer. And I'll literally program someone's name like that. Okay. It's terrible, but I'm not the only person that does that. So that's why I prefer not to put on their radar that I'm gonna chase them later. I am gonna chase them. I just don't want them alerted
And
to that fact.
yeah.
Okay. And then I would drop a few questions and empathic statements and try to get Courtney expanding on the situation. So, hey, my sister kind of thinking about keeping the house. I would make a guess or two or three as to what the situation is and see if Courtney grabs that nugget and starts to expand. So, oh yeah, I imagine you guys probably want to come in and use it as a vacation rental. Well, no, yeah, who knows what Courtney would have said if you would have dropped that in there. So take a couple of stabs at what you think someone means by something or what you think their situation is, and
Mhm.
see if they start to open up and either confirm what you're guessing or correct what you're guessing. You'll get a lot of information out of people. You'll extend conversations a long way if you do that.
It's good.
All right, that's all I had. That was a lot.
Great.
So, all right.
Nope.
Any comments, questions? Anybody else have any feedback?
Bruce, there are questions in the comment section,
Okay.
in the chat.
Um, all right. Not role playing today, but good. More questions. More confident. So I'm gonna go. That came from an iPhone user. I'm not sure who that is. I kind of agree. So I think it's the more confidence part that I'm gonna just sort of circle back. I don't mind your lack of confidence when you open. That sort of it's non-threatening. I do want to get I do want to raise my confidence level once I identify that I have the right person. All right, and I don't see the other questions. All right. I see Kelsey. You're good. If everyone only probate Kelsey, does everyone call only probate leads or from a list of affidavits of death? Man, what's the difference in the approach if you're calling on a list of death affidavits? Most people don't call a list of death affidavits. They may call pre-probate, and a lot of times we can't necessarily source where pre-probate came from. It's normally from a lead company, but it would be a death affidavit or an obituary. Um, with those, I'm leaning into when I present the offer of service that I'm giving. Instead of I help people through probate, I help people that are getting ready to administer an estate. So my language changes just a tiny little bit because I used to say I help people through probate, and they'd go, I don't need to go through probate, and it's like this smack in the face. And it was hard for me to get around that when they're starting with this assertion that I'm wrong on and I don't need probate. So I just change what I'm helping with a little bit. I help people that are administering an estate, and the rest of the conversation is generally the same. All right, who's next? All right, let's go to Anda. How's it going? And by the way, I always say Anda. Tell me if it's Anda.
No, it is Anda. You got it
Okay,
right.
good. Okay.
All right, all
All
right.
right. You want to role play?
Yes, I will mostly read from my page. It's my first one, so bear with me, please. I'll
Yeah,
try
you're
to be as
good.
natural as possible.
Courtney, can you handle this one again?
Yeah, sure. Unless there's
Hi,
somebody else
Courtney.
out there who wants to. Hey there, Anda, how you doing?
Good,
Yeah, if
good.
somebody else wants to do it, that's fine. Nope.
I see. Well,
Courtney it is.
Cam may be in line. Here we go. All right.
Okay, Courtney. Ring, ring.
Hi, hello.
Hi, this is Anda Margina. I'm calling about the pending probate case for the estate of Jane, and I'm looking for the personal representative of the estate. Is this Courtney?
Yeah. Oh, you guys are the court. You're calling from the
Yeah,
court.
well, uh, Courtney, I work closely with the county clerk's office, and I reach
Mhm.
out to support families navigating the probate process. Do you have a
Okay.
quick moment for me to share the types of services that we provide?
Um, I mean, yeah, sure.
Oh, great. Well, first of all, Courtney, please accept my sincere condolences for the loss of your relative. I know this must be a difficult time for you. Is this the first time that you go through probate?
First time.
Going through probate?
I mean, this is my first time doing it. Yeah, but I mean,
Oh, yeah.
um,
What do you find most challenging in this process?
I mean, it's just my first time doing it. It's just a lot of things to figure out what's supposed to be next. But yeah, is that what you help with? Uh,
Yes,
you're an,
that's
you're an
exactly.
attorney?
Um, I do not work with the attorney, but I'm going back to what you said that I understand that it feels overwhelming, and many families have the same feeling going through the probate process. And if you, I'm going to get to what we offer is a set of contacts and resources to help manage the probate process. And reduce the time and stress that you will feel outside of the court, like
Oh,
personal estate inventory cleanout,
oh wow.
landscape, home repairs.
Uh,
Are you currently facing any of these challenges, or do you have most things covered?
oh no, we're just I'm just kind of getting started. So yeah, I'd be interested in seeing more what you guys can do. How much that does that cost? If you're like guys like are like cleaning out a house and
Okay, um, sure. I understand you're just starting, so I'm happy that these resources hopefully will be helpful for you later.
Mhm.
And as far as cost, the way I put bread on the table for my family is providing these resources and hoping at the end of if you do have real estate to sell, that you will consider me making an offer later on in the process. Does this
Oh,
sound fair?
oh, okay, cool. All right. He has a few parcels and a couple of properties there that might need to be sold. Are you looking for just buying one, or is that for all of them, or?
Uh, I'm open to help you with any needs that you have. If you have one or a few, we are ready to help you with all of them, whatever you need our help for. So, are you in the position at this point to um, talk more? Maybe we meet, maybe we see the properties together, and I can give you an advice on how to proceed. It's a long process, but it's important to be ready when they are ready, when you are ready to sell them.
What was that mean? You said like just like meet at the one of the houses or something, or
Yeah,
what does that
or
look
all
like?
of them. It looks like you're in the same county, all of them.
Yeah, they're like around the corner from each other. Yeah, we could. I mean, I guess I won't be there until like next week. I live a couple of counties over, but I was gonna go over there uh next week and grab some stuff out of there anyways. Are you gonna be there around next Thursday? Or you want to just give me a call or?
Sure, happy to meet you there. I'll make time to meet you there. And yeah, meanwhile, I will send you some resources that I was talking about and services that we provide. Let me grab your email. What is the best email to reach you at?
Courtney@gmail.com.
Awesome. And do I have the right mailing address for you on 123 Main Street?
Oh yeah, that's it. Wow, I got everything. Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
awesome. So I'll shoot you a calendar invite. Actually, let me circle back to you at the beginning of next week, and we'll decide on the time to meet there. And I'm glad I got you and I talked to you. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Oh, cool. Sounds good. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day, Courtney. Bye.
You too, Andre. All right, cool, cool. All right. How'd it feel? I always like asking that.
It felt long.
Uh,
I spoke a lot, I know.
well, well, to me, I mean, I will get everyone else's opinion, but if I just jump in, I think, I mean, I thought the pacing was pretty cool. I mean, I did like let you get through some parts so you could hear and see different parts. I thought um, did some nice labeling and repeating what was going on with me while answering the questions and getting in and out. You and what was it, Matt or? Oh, I forgot Matt. Yeah, Matt did a good job of like asking what's the best email and getting that because the email addresses are just so much gold when we're trying to keep sharing our services and value to folks. So awesome job there. Um, uh, yeah, I even think the tone was appropriate. The one thing that I kind of harp on is as opposed to asking someone, and I know it may be in the script you have, but asking someone, do you have a certain amount of time? I usually like going for the no. Oh, but it sounds like I usually assume, oh, I caught you at a bad time, or is this a bad time? So they can say, even if they say no, I'm like, yep, great, it makes sense. Well, let me, and then I may still share my maybe a shorter, unique sell proposition or get to that, opportunity to continue to connect. And if they say, no, no, it's a good time. Now they feel they've given control. They've let some of the compression out of the, meeting, talking to a stranger, and then you can go into the rest of the conversation.
Wrote that
Yeah,
down.
yeah. So so that's one thing I picked up on that I would offer you to think about changing it from is this a good time to is it a bad time, getting a no from him early so he can feel control. But yeah, what are you thinking of, Bruce or and other folks?
Yeah, let me see if anybody else has feedback before I jump in. And the thing is, we try to keep our feedback relatively short. We might jot down 8 or 9 things that could be mildly tweaked. I try to pick just 2 or 3. So anybody else that wants to chime in, I would say if you guys just have like one thing that you might suggest with feedback, raise your hand or unmute yourself and share. I'm gonna go first. I want to recognize that Anda just started. This was our first role play. Um, so kind of leaning on a little bit of a script, totally fine. Kudos and congratulations to you for putting yourself out there and going. It's the first step to being better than everybody else. All right. So good job.
Thank you.
When you're following a script, it's generally going to be kind of hard to be the actor that I want you to be. So when I reference being an actor, um, I'm not proposing that you be fake and disingenuous. Okay, so I'm not proposing that. What I am proposing is you need to get into the character that you're conveying. So next time you go through it, or if you go through it standing in the mirror and you're looking at your script, try to get into character. You're not just reading something, you want to try to really convey the character. And where I especially noticed it was in your condolences. That's where I really noticed it. You said, "Oh, and my condolences on the
Oh,
loss," and
right,
it was just
right.
kind of flat, same tone, everything. So I want to dip into the feeling of condolences. And if you're going to be empathetic, you almost dip into the feeling that the loss is almost personal to you.
Mm.
When I give condolences, and I am not faking it and being disingenuous, but I'll let myself feel some of the emotions like they're a friend. And I sometimes when I do it, I can legitimately feel myself tearing up a little bit. All right. Does that make me a psychopath? I don't know. Maybe. All right. But I want to feel what I'm expressing to them. So kind of train yourself to dip into those feelings. Um,
Hey, Bruce, real quick, I forgot that was one of the notes. I kind of stay away from condolences unless they bring up the departed one. And, you
mhm.
know, if they're belly to belly or we're having a conversation and they bring them up, then I'll give that empathetic. But usually in these situations, especially when someone's already applied for probate, I mean, everyone grieves differently, but people are at a different space where they're like, I mean, this is time to take care of some of the, I mean, literally take care of the business of the estate. So I tend to go away from unsolicited condolences. But when I do, I try to give it, you know, make it real and authentic as well.
Mhm. Yeah. I would agree with that. I've had a number of clients, not prospects, but agents and investors that were really big on offering condolences, and they would fuss if their ISA didn't offer condolences, or they'd fuss if condolences weren't in the script. And the reality is, some people, they don't want, they're trying to avoid the emotion. Some of your prospects are trying to avoid the emotion. They're not trying to get you to push them into the emotion that they're trying to avoid. It's not necessarily our job to be the therapist that forces them to take a long, hard look at it. Um, if you guys choose to give condolences and be empathetic and try to kind of do that, it's fine. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I lean more on the side of Courtney, where I'm not normally pushing condolences into the middle of a script, and if I am, it's going to be dipping into that emotion a little bit. Um, I would a couple of times Courtney gave you positive things. So which properties are you talking about? We got a couple of pieces of property. Now, yeah, you know what? What do you think about doing? Sometimes you need to think. They ask you a question, you answer it with a question. So you were kind of answering with an answer. Sometimes you need to answer with a question. Okay, yeah. What are all of them going to be sold, or you thinking about keeping a few of them? That's just fine of an answer. All right. Another one is, hey, how soon do you want to do this? Yeah, tell me what's your timing. Sometimes I don't necessarily assume that I have the answer for someone. I want to dig in a little bit more before I give an answer. I'll respond with another question. All right, what's your timing? That's a huge question that most of us miss in our prospecting, is asking what the person's timing is. Hey, in a perfect world, when would you like to take care of these? I don't want to start pushing my agenda until I know what they want, what they need. So really good. And then I felt like the very last thing is you could have closed. So you kind of already talked about Thursday. I didn't hear a time.
Mm.
Um, So yeah, how's Thursday morning look? Maybe 10:30, or would you prefer afternoon? So go ahead and push for a firm commitment before you shift over to the email and the mail. All right, cool.
And Kelsey says, in the comments, as a widow who has received calls after a loss, really hate it. I'm sorry for your loss or anything of that matter. You can express empathy and care in your language, how you deliver your pace, and being efficient with their time. Thanks for that perspective, Kelsey. Thanks for sharing that.
That's good.
But yes, yeah. But I know we have Cam who's going to come up next. But Vladimir, did you have something else to share, or you wanted to be in line to hopefully role play?
I did want to do a probate
Oh,
call, but I wanted to share my perspective. So I think Ada made made a really good job. And one thing is I notice is, and I want to actually get your feedback here as hosts. So it sounded like, Courtney, you were kind of casual and you were like, yeah, let's see the house. And Anda was more formal, like, are you in a position? What's your,
Mm.
perspective? Like she was a little bit more in a professional language, and I'm wondering what are your feedback about this? What would you recommend? Um,
Oh, it sounds like it. What are you thinking about, Vladimir? I appreciate you bringing that up. I didn't even think about that until you just pointed it out. Sounds like you have a thought on that.
Yeah, I was curious, like, what would you advise if you hear somebody more casual? Do you do you advise to stay in a more professional language and stay more formal, or you advise to mirror and maybe kind of become more casual just when you catch it? What do you think is
But
your
Courtney, don't answer yet. Vladimir, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give Courtney's response. What do you think, Vladimir, you should do? What do you think? What's your opinion?
my I have a problem. I have a problem because I'm an immigrant and I learn my English in the office primarily. So I always talk in a more office-like language, and I think it bites me many times. So I need to push myself to be more casual
Hmm.
and avoid those office language, and therefore I kind of pick up on that. So I would say in general, I would try to be more casual and less formal because it might bring barriers. That's my thought, but I'm curious to hear from you.
Cool. Go ahead, Courtney.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're kind of like have evolved in to similar, like that's what rapport is, right? Having that connection, and sometimes one way to establish rapport is sharing that. But I think also being your authentic self is so super important. So there's a way you can still, if your vocabulary may not necessarily match that, your tone could definitely match the tone and the ease that you're feeling. So I think you're spot on in so much of the literature, and folks who do sell negotiations and rapport building are spot on when it says connect and match the tone. But I don't think that means, be fake or start, you know, if it's in you and you hear someone talk saying y'all, like I'm talking, I'm in Durham, so I can switch. I'm from Alabama, so I can start speaking a little slower. And I actually do when I hear someone speaking that southern accent that I'm used to. But I'm also going to, try to be more authentic, stay authentic and don't, sound like I'm imitating them. So I think you're spot on with that, matching the
Uh,
tone and mirroring, but also
yeah.
don't be
I
afraid to
don't
be
think
yourself as
people
well.
know if you're imitating them.
Yeah.
I don't think they know. Um, it feels weird imitating, but I'm gonna say yes, be yourself, but you do want to try to match their tone and pace of speech and style of communication. That is pretty important if you can do it. If you can't do it, practice a little bit. Practice off of a phone call. Practice with people in the office. Practice when you're networking. Practice when you're out with friends. Try to practice matching and mirroring people outside of a call, and it'll become more natural when you're on a call too. Um, I, guys, there was a time when I would go networking and I would intentionally, and I knew how weird it was gonna feel before I do it, and it really does feel weird. I would intentionally match people's body language when I was sitting with them and their pace of
Well,
speech, and it feels weird. You're like, they're gonna know what I'm doing. It
that
feels weird.
there's folks that say that's what we actually do as like human beings. We start to mimic and same body type as our friends, our family members. When we're like, that's a natural response to feeling connected to folks. So if you're aware of that, there's nothing wrong with using that to make sure you're communicating more effectively. Yeah, heck
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Practice practice on your call too. I mean, I don't ignore it if you feel like you're not good at it. So you should be trying to match how they're communicating on the phone, but also on purpose practice um, matching body language and pace of speech and tone when you're face to face with people. Go intentionally put yourself in rooms where you do it, and you're going to be like, they're going to know what I'm doing. Your brain is going to be screaming, they know what I'm doing. They know what I'm doing. They know what I'm doing. They don't. They do not know what you're doing. If they lean back and cross your arms, lean back and cross your arms. If they lean in excited, lean in excited. they're not going to know. And eventually it'll become second nature and it'll become habit. And when you're doing this, especially if you're face to face, also don't just concentrate on body language, because when you're on the phone, you can't see body language. But you can feel body language. Okay. You can feel whether they sound excited, whether they sound slow, whether they sound sad, whether they sound upset, whether they're from the north and in a hurry, whether they're really professional, like they're in a professional environment. You can feel those things on the phone. And the fun thing is they can't see your body on the phone. So think of how they sound and try to make your body match the way that they sound when you're on the phone, and it'll make it more easy to be reflected in your voice, in your speech. So a lot of times I get up and I move around and I talk with my hands on purpose when I'm on the phone with people, because I can hear that they kind of sound like they might be doing this, and I'll start doing it. Or if they sound like they're just really chill and they've been smoking weed all day, I'll go light up. No, I'm just kidding. No, if they sound like they've been smoking weed all day,
Hey.
I'll go like sit down and just kind of relax and slump in, and the body language really helps me get my tone and pace of speech into alignment with them. So I try to make my body do what I think theirs might be doing, and that helps me align with the way that they're communicating.
I wouldn't know anything about that, but I'm glad you explained it.
Thanks, Deborah.
Oh, let it be known.
There's a years ago, I read a book and it was called How to Make a Man. It's Karen, How to Make a Man Fall in Love with You, and it's about that thing because when you go on job interviews, the people feel in sync. But I just wanted to comment. I thought she did really good. You feel in sync when you move up, sit back, and they don't know that that you're mirroring them. But I
Mhm.
wanted to share that PowerPoint has a way that you can record yourself
Hmm.
and you can see yourself. She could record what she just did on PowerPoint and play it back. And that's why I was liking what you were saying about rehearsing. And so you can do it right on a camera and then sit there and
Yeah,
critique it.
that's awesome.
That's it.
Thank you.
Agreed. I think that's so important that we record ourselves. So important. And it hurts, guys. You're not gonna like it. Who likes to listen to themselves? Who likes to see themselves? Not many of us. You'll get used to it. I can promise you that. I can promise, because I hated the way that I sounded, and the way that I presented myself on camera. Despised it. And you guys might think that I love it, because it feels sometimes like I seek a lot of attention, but I'm comfortable getting attention. I'm comfortable with it only because I forced myself to watch and listen to myself. So, such a good point, Karen. All right.
All right. Did we lose
Where'd Cam
Cam?
go?
He was like, my goodness, I had
Thank
hopefully
you.
maybe he's on a call or something there. Oh, Cam, oh, I want to give him a chance. He had his hand up for a while. Oh
I
man.
will bring him back if he
All
comes
right.
back.
Vladimir, you ready to go?
Sure.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Courtney, with you again.
Yeah, is there a particular, I should have asked other folks, is there a particular scenario or part of the conversation or even obstacle you want me to bring up, or is it be a general first call, second call?
Just first call. Yeah.
All right, all right.
Ring ring.
Hello?
Courtney?
Yep, who's this?
Courtney, this is Vladimir. And I got your number from a public record. I'm helping with the properties on probate. Did I call you at a bad time?
Now I got a second. What's going on there? What's going on with it?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Courtney, you probably are an executor on a probate house.
Yeah, is there something wrong? I mean, we sent the files down there last week. Is there a problem?
Oh, there's no problem at all. I am I'm helping from a non-legal side for the houses on the probate, and I'm a professional who help the executors to prepare house for a sale, cleaning. I'm not a real estate agent and I'm not an attorney, but I help with kind of offload some of the work and provide some services. So what are your thoughts about the house? What are your plans about it?
Well, the house you talking about his house in the county?
The house, do you mean the house that is on a probate?
I mean, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, well, anybody's gonna want that. That thing is pretty tore up, man. I don't think anybody's gonna.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
is the condition? Yeah, it's probably a lot to take care of right now. What is the condition of the house?
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't. I've seen it from the outside on Google, but
Mhm.
what is the best time to see the inside?
I mean, well, I mean, you could go by there if you want. I mean, the back door is pretty open. My dad had it for a long time, and then we moved back down to Durham. We never went back up there, so it's
Mhm.
pretty tore up. It's a pretty messed up house. I don't know if somebody would maybe tear it down. Probably better for the land than the house.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. It's probably um, a lot of questions about what to do with that. So what is what decisions do you need to make about it? Have you thought of what to do with the house?
Oh, I mean, I ain't gotta make really a decision. I mean, it's paid off. We can just sit there.
Hmm.
I mean, it's I guess got to pay the property tax. I don't know if that's coming up or not, but that's not too much.
Hmm.
I don't want to like shake anything up and have them recheck the property tax. So
Sure.
I mean, was you guys, how much would you give me for it?
Well, I really don't know what to offer you right now. I'm assuming if you're out of state, it's probably a hassle for you to go down and organize all this. Um, when did you last see the house?
Oh man, shoot. I mean, it's 2 or 3 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago. Okay. Um, so do you do you mind if I check on this house for you and send you some videos and pictures of that so you could get a better idea?
Oh shoot, man. Yeah, shoot, that'd be good. Yeah, let me get some pictures of it. But hey, I'm not responsible for anything that happened if you go inside.
Yeah, I understand you might have a concern. So what is the best way to put it together?
Put it together.
You mean I mean the how can I get access to the house?
Like I said, you can stop by there. Stop by there anytime you want. I mean, I'm sure you got the address, you got all other information, and just uh shoot me a call. Tell me how much you guys want for it, and
Sure.
yeah, and I guess we can go from there. If there's anything else I need from you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sounds
So
good. I will try to do that then, Courtney. And what is the best way to reach you?
you just call me back here.
Okay. Well, sounds good. I will do that. And let me do this. I will tell you when exactly I will go to the house to coordinate with you. Do you mind it?
I mean, yeah, you can just give me a call, shoot me a text, give me a call, something.
Sure. Sounds good. So we can coordinate and I will show you the videos of me in the house.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Courtney. I will shoot you an email with the confirmation. What is your email address to send that, please?
Well, you my email address, huh? You just give me a call. I don't really do email, man.
Okay, I will send you a text then. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
All right. All right. All right. Shoot. Yeah, man. Cool. We run short on time. So, yeah, how'd you feel, Vladimir?
How it feels?
Yeah, what you thinking?
I felt like first of all, I'm not sure if I am supposed to be going in the house alone. So I felt like I'm not sure if I'm making the right decision. Maybe
Well,
I am.
I mean, the only reason I played it is if this was like an investor house. When I heard you say that I mean, you did get that talk about you not being a realtor investor in there, but that's the reason I just took it as like, okay, let me have this as laid out. But yeah, get in that property. Yeah, get over there, get pictures, get in front of it and all. But I mean, there are a couple things to pick up on, but just for the sake of time, I'll just say one thing. When you're talking about the pain, you have made assumptions that, hey, I know this is probably a pain being out of state. That thought is great, but I would start with maybe asking them, how is that impacting you? How does that feel like, being out of state dealing with this property? And
Yeah.
then maybe come back with a,
Yes.
affirming, validating, yeah, it must be difficult going back,
Yep.
as you said. So letting me paint the
Yeah.
picture of the possible pain I have. But I'll stop right there because I know we're short on time and
Good
there'll be
point.
another
Thank
idea.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney.
So so much of your question about going in the house is going to depend on your tolerance for liability. You're not a licensed realtor. If you're a realtor, I'm gonna um, generally caution against it without some kind of a written commitment.
Mhm.
So I would say, hey, you know what? I just want to make sure that I'm in the clear doing this. At minimum, I'm going to send you a quick email. I want you
Yeah.
to just respond back and tell me that I
Mhm.
can go in the house. Okay. So, from a liability standpoint, now, if you don't have a license, if you guys are investors or you don't have a license or anything like that, it's probably less important. I still normally want something in writing saying I can go in.
Makes sense.
I just don't really love that liability. Now, I'm not gonna present it like that to the consumer. Hey, great, I'll go in there. Just real quick, let me shoot you an email. I want you to reply back and just tell me in writing that I can go in there. I just want to make sure I have my bases covered. Now, I have had the cops called on me
Yeah.
going into an empty house. I have. So I'll just say, hey, I had the cops called on me one time going into a house, and they told me it was best if you send me an email telling me it's okay if I can go in.
Sure.
Just kind of make it sound nonchalant and fine.
And
Um,
to that though, Bruce, it was really good how you framed it at some point in there saying, hey, I can get pictures for you. And I do that often too. You haven't been in the house in a while, you know, and I can get pictures, I can get some videos, send them over to you so you can get an idea what this thing looked like. So I did like that part. Just made me think of that, Bruce.
Yeah.
yep,
Thank you.
awesome. Um, Public record, I would have hung up on you the second you said you
Yeah.
got your information from public records.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I would not say public record. Hey, I work really closely with the clerk's office at that in such and such a courthouse. Um, Basically provide services around the real estate to families going through probate. Notice that you are the personal representative. So that's kind of the way that I'm going to present that. I work closely with the clerk's office, help families go through the probate process. Calling because you're a personal representative. Normally, I would lean away from I'm a professional. So you said I'm a professional at one point. I'm normally okay. I just think of the like the uh what's the Man Apart or a Man on Fire and with Denzel Washington in Mexico. Everyone says I'm a professional. I'm a professional. Okay. I know it's just something, it's kind of a quirk for me. I normally don't like people I just typically don't trust someone that says I'm a professional. Maybe it's the me thing. If you guys disagree, chime in. When someone tells me they're a professional, I'm usually like, okay, that kind of indicates to me maybe you're not. All right. But I want and I want other opinions on that. That's not a set in stone response. I probably just wouldn't tell someone I'm a professional. It's more I provide resources and some services to help with real estate needs that when there's real estate involved in a probate process. That's more the way that I'm going to explain it. Pretty quick. I provide some resources and services that help when there's real estate involved in a probate process, and then immediately I'm going toward questions. So that's enough of an example, enough of a summary of your services to start asking questions and steering the conversation. All right, cool. Well, Cam's not back, and we are
Thank you very much.
almost out of time. Anyone want to chime in, ask any questions? I don't think we have time for another role play today. But if you guys want to take a couple of minutes and throw a question at us or chime in with some feedback, please do so. Nope.
May I ask a question about my role play?
Sure.
So at one point, Courtney, I felt like I didn't really get what you said and was a confusion. How did that play out? And like, were you really confused, or was there a confusion from your point of view?
I really can't remember at which point, but I was trying to react as I hear people react sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And so maybe it was I don't want to just pull something I'm tell here. So I'm not. Maybe it was when maybe the end maybe you ended without a question, or maybe it was the uptick or the tone that you were using, like you're saying something with a uptick at the end,
Uh-huh.
but and so I think
You're
maybe that's what we're talking about, but I'm sorry if I'm not.
you're an executor? You're an
That
executor? Yeah.
executor. Oh yeah, exactly at the beginning. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I go back and forth with trying to sound chipper without sounding too salesy. And I role play 3 times a week, and there's a person in there who's awesome, and she always harps on me making sure I have a downtick as opposed to an uptick. So in other words, as opposed to ending with a like this, she encouraged me to end like this, so that I sound more professional. Some subconscious things like that. So, but I'm not quite sure if I'm completely sold on that, but I do try to have a downtick. So anytime I hear an uptick at the beginning, I think maybe that's what I was pausing about.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that feedback. Appreciate that. Mhm.
Priya.
Hi, Bruce. So I called an old probate today, and she asked me to follow up in January. She said, call us back late January and then we'll talk about it. We're not ready yet. So my question is, in the meantime, she refused to share her email as well. So all I have is her cell number. So what would you suggest I do to follow up? Usually, some people say the rule is half the time and call them between. I don't want to annoy her though. So what is my next step?
I would probably call in the early part of January, but you need to get information in her hands, something more than a simple letter. But it needs to have a letter in it too. So put a little bit of a package together with some, maybe some resources that you provide, a cover letter, potentially a CMA or resume or something like that. Start putting a few things together that you can send. She might have been putting you off, especially if she didn't want to share her email.
Yes, so I couldn't ask the qualifying questions because she was in a hurry. Or I would have asked her, are you just telling me this, just to get me off the phone? But I didn't get a chance to do that. So I just with it for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one. And then I went ahead and took your advice, and I got I'm getting pre-probate started. So now the dialogue completely changes for that, right? Because we don't know, like you said, whether they're going to probate or they don't have to go into probate. So how would I prospect such a person?
So rather than probate services, it just becomes estate administration. Okay.
Yeah.
So look, estate administration, whether you're going through probate or you're settling outside of probate, pretty simple adjustment. Everything else is the same.
Okay. So I still offer the services if there is, or if I ask them, is there any real estate attached to the estate or something?
Generally speaking, if you're getting your list from most sources, they've done enough skip tracing to feel that there's going to be real estate somehow connected. So it depends where the leads come from. But
it's from all the leads. So they do the property plus. So they are giving me but they don't.
So there should be a house. There should have recently been a house. So maybe it's possible that it's sold or transferred already, but most of the time there's still a house connected if it's coming from all the leads.
So how would I bring that up in conversation without like, I'm telling
Yeah. So normally I'm offering services first. Um, Generally speaking, they're gonna hold me at bay. So yeah, no, I think we got everything handled. Great. Let me send you some resources and maybe a list of some of the services that I occasionally provide. You can give me a call if anything comes up. That's usually the first thing that I'm going toward when they reject or resist. And then I'm going to say, hey, listen, before I jump off the phone, can I ask, once you get further into the process, is the real estate something that you guys are going to be potentially selling, or is it just too early at this point? And that's the way that I ask. Selling or too early? I don't say selling or keeping because they've already shown me that they want to resist. So if I give them the keeping option, if I give someone who already wants to reject me, selling or keeping, they're going to go selling.
okay.
Okay. So I say selling, or is it too early? That way they can resist me without shutting me down completely. And everyone should know it's too early to tell right now is almost always a seller. Almost always. So they're really telling you they're selling. They get the satisfaction of holding you at bay. You get the satisfaction of getting an answer that, hey, there's probably going to be a sale at some point. Yeah. So bring it up as kind of an aside. Hey, before I jump off the phone, that's my favorite. I call it the Columbo approach, but if you guys really use the Columbo show, he was always, hey, before I go, or oh, by the way. It's just too transparent. It's too salesy. Um, it sounds it just kind of comes off like you were being disingenuous with everything else. So I like to use the phrasing, "Hey, before I jump off," and then ask the question. And I'm framing it like they're giving me an answer, not for today, but for the future. So when I ask that question, I don't want them to feel like they're answering for today. I need them feeling like, yeah, they're answering what's going to happen once in months. That makes them feel better about giving me a response. Yeah. You're muted again. Try to unmute yourself.
So the services I'm providing is towards the maintenance or the cleanup and stuff. And after that, if they are thinking about selling, I'm just trying to understand the process. Then I'm offering, my real estate services. Is that how you approach it?
Yeah, for me, and this is different. I can tell you Courtney does something different. I haven't heard one of your calls recently, Courtney, but I think you're a little bit more real estate direct. For me, I'm presenting a probate or in pre-probate estate administration or estate management service. I'm presenting that so that they have something that they can reject without flat out rejecting the real estate. Okay. So I'm fine if they say, no, I don't need anything, it's covered. I expect it.
But what are the details? If they ask me, if they question me about, okay, what are those services you're providing? What is it other than cleanup and estate sales?
Yeah. So my response is it's kind of an A to Z service. I could list off 1,000 things for you right now, or um, maybe you could tell me where you are and I can kind of match what you might need with some of the things that I can cover for you.
Right.
That's a good
So
one.
I'm trying to dodge giving them an answer because I don't know what they need at this point. So
And they need to be talking. They need to be painting the vision. So yeah, I mean, that's my same approach actually, Bruce, as far as going back to them and asking them what they may need. And I still split test it. I may spend an hour every person that I call approaching as I provide probate and property services. And I usually say it like that, probate and property services for families who or going through the process. But I do really appreciate what Bruce is saying as far as estate. So I may even start add that in as far as saying I help with help families who are dealing with estate. But I also may, if it's an older lead, which this is not what you're talking about, obviously it's a pre-probate. If it's an older lead, I do go directly to a conversation about hey, I'm just calling about this property and see if you might be
Mhm.
interested in selling. But yeah.
Thank
Yep. Cool. Thanks, Priya. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. We're a little bit over. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks,
2
man.
weeks from now, we are going to be back. So Wednesday after Thanksgiving. Again, thank you guys for being here. Come back in 2 weeks and let's do it again.
All right. See you, everyone. Take care, Bruce. All right, everyone.
Yep. Later. Bye.